Chapter 81. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Outside the door, three short figures, soaked in the rain and trembling from cold and hunger, slowly approached the farmhouse. "Excuse me, can you give us something to eat?" Among them, a little boy with short dark blonde hair stepped forward, his helpless eyes looking at Qianyue and the others expectantly. The person who came was none other than Yahiko, the future leader of the Akatsuki organization. The people hiding behind him were Sharingan and Nagato, who lowered his head so that his face could not be seen clearly. The world is so small. Looking at the three people who were shivering from the cold, with yellow faces and thin muscles, Qianyue nodded and said, "Come in, there is rice and roasted snake meat. As long as you are not afraid, then eat some." "Is it really possible?" Yahiko's eyes suddenly lit up. Minato and Naoki hinted to Qianyue with their eyes to be careful. No wonder the two of them were so vigilant. After all, in the fucked up and dangerous world of Naruto, many children are trained from a young age to eventually become qualified spies. This happens all the time. Some children even kill their peers at the age of 5 or 6 and stand out. "Don't worry, these three people are not a threat." Qianyue responded to the two of them and waved to Yahiko and the others. "Great, we have something to eat." Yahiko happily pulled Konan and Nagato in, and bowed gratefully to Qianyue. "Thank you for the food you give us." Konan was a little restrained and seemed a little afraid of strangers, while Nagato's nerves became tense after seeing the Konoha forehead protectors on Kianzuki and the others. He thought of his parents. The sound of swallowing food made Qianyue shake her head. Yahiko and the other three didn't even care whether the food would burn them. They just wanted to work hard to fill their stomachs. Qianyue once felt that Tsunade was eating like a refugee, but now that she saw Yahiko, Konan, and Nagato eating, Qianyue felt that Tsunade was extremely weak. At least Tsunade knew how to blow a few times to avoid burning herself. Sighing, Qianyue comforted them. "Eat slowly. If it's not enough, I can prepare some for you. Be careful not to burn your stomach. This can be fatal to you. Don't eat too much at one time." Holding a ball of rice in her dirty little hand, and a piece of meat in the other hand, Shaonan paused, and her eyes instantly turned red. The next moment he choked and started crying. It seemed that she hadn't been cared about by anyone for too long, but Qianyue's comfort made Shaonan, who was a more emotional girl, break her guard. Yahiko showed an ugly smile. Nagato still lowered his head, but slowed down his eating speed. Shingshu couldn't bear it and took out some dry food. "You can take these with you. If you are hungry, eat slowly." "Thanks." Yahiko's voice was filled with tears, and he felt tears welling up in his eyes. The three of them wandered for a long time and met ninjas from other villages. It's a pity that they don't dare to get close because these people are too fierce. They would even kill some civilians who begged for food, even children. Minato silently took out his dry food. All he can do is give part of his dry food to the other party. After the three of them finished eating, Qianyue said to them, "There is a closet in the back. You can look around to see if there are any clean clothes. It's better to change your clothes, otherwise you will get sick easily. In the current situation, you know what it means to be sick, right?" "Damn it." Yahiko and the other three went to the back room to look for clothes they could change into. Naoki couldn't help but punch the ground and cursed, "This damn war. What you should criticize is not the war, but the people who started the war." Qianyue glanced at him and threw 2 logs into the fire, and choking smoke suddenly filled the air. It's hard to find much dry firewood in the country of rain. Instead, wood soaked in water is everywhere, and it's very smoky when burned. Shingshu opened his mouth, but he didn't know who he should scold, because some people cannot be scolded casually, such as the top management of the village. The people who started the war include the top management of Konoha. This scolding will involve everyone. After holding it in for a long time, Naoshu finally could only stamp his feet in frustration. Is it necessary to start a war and fight a war? Why can't the problem be solved through negotiation? In the room, Yahiko put on clothes that were clean but a few sizes too big for his body. Yahiko pricked up his ears and quietly "Listen, why can you live in the resource-rich fire country and the military-powerful Konoha? Why do you have something that many people pursue all their lives when you are born? Why do some people work hard all their lives but cannot fulfill their wishes and achieve their goals? Wake up. Qianyue kicked the rope tree angrily, and Qianyue cursed, If negotiation can solve the problem, what else should we do with our fists? Am I as bad as you say? Naoshu rolled his eyes, confused by Qianyue's words. Minato burst out laughing, because he also felt that Naoki's words were completely unrealistic. Instead of hoping that there will be no war, it is better to hope that you can become Hokage. If you want to become Hokage, you can work hard for this goal. If you want world peace, it is too difficult and almost impossible. Looking at Naoki with embarrassment written all over his face, Minato seemed to see his old self. He had asked Qianyue this way before, but was silenced and made him doubt his life. Sir, is war really inevitable? Yahiko, who had been eavesdropping, couldn't help but come out, approached cautiously, and stood respectfully in front of Qianyue. What the hell is this? In one house, there are 3 ideals and wishes. This was the case with Naoki, and so was Minato in the past. Now Yahiko is more persistent than Naoki and Minato. Recalling the stupid things the Akatsuki organization had done, Qianyue felt anxious for Yahiko. I wonder if Jiraiya gave them the ecstasy soup. Regarding Yahiko's question, Qianyue's answer was, Fist is justice, strength is truth. Instead of expecting others not to start a war, it is better to improve your own strength and intimidate everyone so that they fear you and fear you so that they dare not start a war. What is gained in this way is also peace, but the means are different. Fist is justice, strength is truth. Yahiko looked confused, and these words completely confused him. If the technology tree of this world hadn't been crooked, Qianyue would have really wanted to tell them that cannons are justice and caliber is truth. Seeing Yahiko who was in a daze, Naoki pulled Qianyue and whispered, Don't teach the child bad things. Am I teaching bad children? Qianyue wondered, why the hell am I still a child? He raised his head and squinted at the rope tree and said, That's what your grandfather did, because he was the god of ninjas. His fists were big enough and his strength was strong enough. People in the entire ninja world did not dare to provoke him, so the ninja world at that time was peaceful. Why did it involve my grandfather? Wait. Shingshu was about to complain a few words, but suddenly he was stunned. Chapter 82. You are listening at NavelFull.audio. Shingshu was about to complain a few words when he suddenly froze, because Qianyue's words were not wrong. It's just that Shingshu didn't think about this before. After the establishment of Konoha, the ninja world was indeed peaceful. Except for some minor frictions, almost no war broke out. But why? Isn't that because the great god Senju Hashirama is intimidating, and there is also the ruthless Uchiha Madara, who dares to cause trouble? Later, Uchiha Madara faked his death, Senju Hashirama died of illness, and the first ninja war broke out not long after. This is the most typical example, so, peace must be based on strong strength. Konan and Nagato also walked out. Nagato lowered his head and couldn't see his face clearly and asked, My lord, this is wrong. Yahiko didn't know what he was thinking of and began to retort, Hanzo-sama is also very powerful, but the war between the Rain Ninja Village and Konoha still broke out. Strength cannot represent everything. How do you explain it? Naoki and Minato looked at Senzuki. Qianyue didn't expect that Yahiko would use Hanzo to refute him, so he immediately laughed. You are so powerful. You can only compare it with the Kage of the 5 major ninja villages. That's it. You still have the nerve to call yourself a demigod. You don't even have the dignity to do so. If Hanzo hears this, he will definitely want to kill you with a scythe. Yahiko, Konan, and Nagato were also stunned. They felt that Qianyue was bragging. Minato smiled bitterly, but did not dare to refute, because Qianyue can make people question their life every minute. Look what I do. Hanzo is strong, I admit that, but his strength is definitely not up to the level of a so-called god, not even a demigod. Currently among the ninja world, I think the strongest one should be the Sandaime Raikage of Kyuumo Ninja Village. To be honest, the third Raikage at that time was really fierce. Qianyue even suspected that he was a little more fierce than Inoki. Unparalleled defense and attack, coupled with speed that surpasses most people. It can be said that the third generation of Raikage in this period was completely useless. It's no joke to challenge a man who defeats 8 Tails in a single fight. Although the third Kazekage can easily control Shikaku Ichibi, that's because his magnetic escape restrains Shikaku. In addition, Shikaku's strength is really not that good among many tailed beasts. If this were replaced by the 8 tails, the third Kazekage would definitely be beaten everywhere. Kyuubi's mocking of Shikaku's weakness was not unreasonable. Among the 9-tailed beasts, Shikaku is really weak. When Qianzuki watched the anime, he didn't even see this guy using tailed beast jade. I don't know if I can't release it or if I don't want to use it. In the anime, the scene of half a 9-tailed beast knocking over a group of tailed beasts shocked many people. Besides, it was only half a 9-tail, not a complete one. From the various memory fragments of Kyuubi, it can be seen that it ignores a chibi Shikaku, but often fights with 8 tails. As for the rest of the tailed beasts, most of them are skipped. It seems that in the eyes of the 9 tails, except for the 8-tailed one who is pretty good and the annoying 1-tailed one, the other tailed beasts are simply dispensable. The Sandame Reikage. Naoki scratched his head. I heard Mr. Orochimaru mention it. He seems to be a powerful and difficult guy. Is not this nonsensical? Believe it or not, your teacher will definitely have no temper at all when he meets him. If the third Reikage had not been killed by the plot, Konoha's situation might have been even worse during the Third Ninja War. One thing he never could figure out was that since he was the shadow of a village, he must be the most important person in the village. Then he must be protected by the Reikage guards. Isn't the purpose of these people's existence to protect the Reikage? Why was it that after taking a walk around the Earth Kingdom and grabbing a batch of resources, the Reikage guards left first? He also let the Reikage stay to break up the queen, but was eventually consumed to death. This isn't a plot kill, what is it? The third Reikage wanted to leave, but Inoki couldn't stop him. If you look at the speed of the fourth Reikage, you can tell that if the third Reikage wanted to leave, almost no one could stop him. Such a man with bugs all over his body actually died of exhaustion in the Kingdom of Earth. The same is true for Konoha's Senju Tobarama. Except for water escape, the man who was full of forbidden arts died in the Kingdom of Thunder just to cut off the queen. This is even more outrageous. After Minato learned the Flying Thunder God technique, he did a lot of things to cut off the queen, especially during the Third Ninja War. There were countless, but why didn't Minato die after being cut off? Of course, Minato's death was even more aggrieved. His wife died, and he didn't even care about his son. He only wanted to die and follow your wife. The poor little Naruto was left to grow up in isolation and abuse. Is it because Lord Hanzo is not strong enough? The Sandame Reikage. Yahiko lowered his head and thought carefully about Qianyue's words. Sir, please teach us how to learn ninjutsu and let us become ninjas. Suddenly, Yahiko stood up and gave Qianyue a 90-degree bow. Well, now Shu was stunned. Minato looked confused. What's the situation? Qianyue herself was a little dumbfounded. Do you want to be my disciple? As long as you are willing, I can become your disciple. Yahiko answered firmly and forcefully. Why do you want to be my disciple? Qianyue couldn't laugh or cry. To be honest, I am still a child myself, only about 3 years older than you. Don't you think this is childish? Aren't you afraid that I am a parallel importer? I believe my intuition is not wrong. Your Excellency is very strong and must be a strong man. Yahiko's actions shocked not only Qianyue, Naoki, Minato, but also Konan and Nagato. Why do you suddenly want to become a disciple? No mental preparation at all. You have great intuition. After coming back to his senses, Naoki suddenly laughed and ran outside while laughing, not forgetting to give Yahiko an encouraging look. Come on, the guy in front of you who even Hanzo despises is indeed very strong. The reason why Naoshu ran away was because he was afraid that Qianyue would beat him, because he couldn't help but burst into laughter and even gloated about his misfortune. Don't run away if you have the guts. Qianyue grabbed the stone on the ground and threw it at it. Shinshu twisted his waist proudly and dodged it. He didn't want to twist his but twice so that he couldn't hit me. Minato smiled and shook his head, and gestured to Qianyue. He felt that it would be better for him to evade first and go out to set some traps to prevent enemies from approaching. I never thought I would encounter such a day. Qianyue thought it would be a long time later, but she didn't expect that someone would become a disciple of her at this time. They are also the 3 leaders of the Akatsuki organization. The reactions of Naoki and Minato made Yahiko more confident that his intuition was indeed correct. Although Chizuki was younger and slightly older than them, Chizuki was a strong one. Otherwise, he would not be able to despise Hanzo so much. Chapter 85. You are listening at NavelFull.audio. The angry Xiaobai showed for the first time the momentum and huge body that a tailed beast should have. The terrifying chakra made all the snakes trampled on the ground confused. Who I am? Where am I? What am I doing? Gudu. Witnessing Xiaobai transforming into a terrifying giant beast like a hill, pinning Wanzi to the ground with one claw, Naoki and Minato swallowed in shock. They felt their necks getting cold, as if what Xiaobai was pressing was not Wanshi but themselves. It seems I haven't offended Xiaobai, right? Shenshu was about to cry, because he recalled that he kept teasing Xiaobai before and wanted to take Xiaobai as his own. Several times, Qianyue stopped him in time so Xiaobai didn't take action. Otherwise, even if there are 100 rope trees, they will all be dead. The flesh on Minato's face twitched a few times and he replied, I remember you teased it and then got beaten by it. I hope it won't hold a grudge, otherwise you won't be able to fill the gap between your teeth. Although Qianyue said that Xiaobai was very strong and terrifying, but Xiaobai never showed it. It has always been the cute mini version that appears, coupled with super perception, causing Minato and Naoki to feel that Qianyue is lying to them. This is to prevent them from teasing Xiaobai and trying to snatch Xiaobai away. Time and time again, they themselves believed this guess, but today, Xiaobai directly refreshed their three views. The terrifying 10,000 snakes in the eyes of Orochimaru and Jiraiya was directly stepped on the ground by Xiaobai, unable to move. Is it too late for me to apologize? The rope tree wants to cry but has no tears. I think you're dead. I don't know if Xiaobai heard their conversation, but he looked back at the two of them and twitched the corners of his mouth twice. This made Shinshu's heart tremble, and he felt like he was doomed. Why bother? Seeing Wanshi being stepped on by Xiaobai's domineering feet, Qianyue shook her head speechlessly. Can't you just talk nicely? You have to use force. Roar. Who dares to attack Master Wan's snake? Wanshi struggled to break away from Xiaobai's claws. Xiaobai lowered his head, and a tailed beast jade began to condense in his mouth. The moment the tailed beast jade began to condense, Wanshi's huge body froze. It can feel the terror in the tailed beast jade. If this firework falls, it will be difficult for any snake to survive. Some powerful psychic beasts have the strength to compete with tailed beasts. For example, Bunta can fight back and forth with Shikaku in a semi-sealed state. As for the Kyuubi, basically forget it. On the night of Kyuubi, Bunta couldn't even get close to Kyuubi. The 9 tails that looked like whips made Bunta suspicious of Toadshin. According to the comparison of strength, Wanshi should be able to compete with Shikaku for a while, but he is definitely not Shikaku's opponent. You can get the answer by referring to Wentai, but the strength gap between Shikaku and Kyuubi, Qianyue feels quite big, but Xiaobai, who has grown to the second stage, is as powerful as Kyuubi. Wanshi was the one looking for abuse when facing Xiaobai. Alright. Seeing that Wanshi was scared to death and didn't dare to move, Qianyue raised her hand to indicate to Xiaobai that it was okay. It's good to scare a little, but don't set off fireworks and accidentally blow up all the snakes. Who will tell the news? After receiving the order, the chakra in Xiaobai's mouth began to dissipate. Feeling the fireworks above his head dissipate, Wanshi breathed a sigh of relief. Xiaobai released his claws from stepping on Wanshi, and Xiaobai stood aside and stared at it eagerly. As long as it does something slightly unruly, Xiaobai will immediately launch an attack. Shaking his dizzy head, Wanshi stood up. Qianyue suddenly had an evil idea and said to Wanshi, Wanshi, are you interested in signing a psychic contract? How about ditching Orochimaru and hanging out with me from now on? What? When Wanshi heard this, the anger that had just been extinguished rose again. The dark red chakra on Xiaobai's body filled the air, and Wanshi was immediately frightened. His attitude changed instantly, and he obediently lowered his huge head. Ahem, compared to Orochimaru, I think you are more suitable to be my fighting partner, but you can have a sacrifice. Before the word sacrifice could be uttered, a tail with dark red chakra slammed down hard, causing all the snakes to scream and fall into the ground. No sacrifices, no sacrifices, I will listen to you from now on. Ouch. Wanshi, who said the wrong thing, was beaten again. Xiaobai's tail was more powerful than the whip, and Wanshi screamed when he was hit, dare you call yourself uncle to your master? Do you want to die? Xiao Bai's huge eyes showed a dangerous signal, frightening. Dewan's heart was jumping up and down, and she quickly shouted, "No sacrifice is required. From now on, all snakes will obey you and be your fighting partners." Bump. Wan Shi's head that had just been raised was whipped to the ground by Xiao Bai again, making a huge pit in the ground. Wow, that's too much of a bully, shouldn't I give in? Why are you still hitting me? Call master. Xiao Bai narrowed his eyes, and 9 tails floated high. As long as one snake dares to say a word, no, he will know in minutes how terrifying the female fox can be when she gets angry. This is impossible. I, the snake immortal, will not agree to this. Ugh. Qianyue stepped back a little and signaled to Xiao Bai that you're welcome. He finally figured it out. Wan Shi was a piece of junk that needed to be dealt with. He just had to deal with this kind of thing and subdue it. It doesn't make sense to reason with it. I won't agree, don't even think about it. Agreeing to become a psychic beast and abandoning Orochimaru is already pretty good. What else do you want for a bike? Call the master. Impossible. Qianyue kindly reminded Wan Shi, don't even think about running away, otherwise you will be forcibly bound to a contract and continue to channel the spirit to fight. Wan Shi, thank you so much for the reminder, I would really appreciate it. With Qianyue's reminder, Xiao Bai became even more ruthless. Naoki and Minato were stunned. Master, I accept it, don't fight, I accept it. In the end, this piece of soft tissue that was not particularly hard but had a bad temper finally surrendered. Qianyue was not polite and signed a contract directly. Anyway, when she didn't listen to Xingshu, so there was no point in borrowing it for him. Orochimaru doesn't really channel all the snakes. After all the snakes have to be sacrificed every time. Where can we find so many living people as sacrifices during a non-war period? In this case, it shouldn't be a big deal if Qianyue snatches it and uses it. It would be too disrespectful to let a novice take part in everything. For ordinary things, it is enough to close the door and let out all the snakes. Once the contract was signed, it was still unilateral to Qianyue, just like it was forcibly signed by Uchiha Madara and Kyuubi. Even if you refuse the summons, if I want you to come out, you have to come out. Wan Shi, who was covered in injuries, shed tears of regret. Why did he come out here with nothing to do, just to get some sacrifices? It's better now, and those who sell themselves are not as miserable as it is. Very good, now go and inform Orochimaru that there is something strange happening in the Rain Ninja village. A large force is surrounding Konoha's position. Let them be careful. Go ahead. You. The snake wanted to run away. It wanted to find a place to hide and cry bitterly. After being channeled this time, I didn't get any sacrifices, not to mention being enslaved. It was a complete loss. Did you forget something? Xiao Bai stopped Wan Shi, and Wan Shi's huge body froze. He turned back and narrowed his eyes obsequiously, and shouted obediently, Owner. Be good, go ahead and get the news delivered as soon as possible, otherwise you don't have to be a snake, just make snake soup. Chapter 86. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yes. Wan Shi shivered in fear and quickly returned to Longdi Cave. After the matter was settled, Xiao Bai also restored his mini-version and landed on Qianyue's shoulder. He happily rubbed his face and curled up together, like a white fur ball. It seems that your teacher's psychic beast was taken away by me. Senzuki Okinawa shrugged, it's none of my business. Glancing at Xiao Bai cautiously, Xingshu showed a smile that was uglier than crying. This is none of my business. Wan Shi is not my psychic beast. I don't know if the green snake in Longdi Cave has grown up, but that guy is quite suitable for the rope tree. Judging from the timeline, the current green snake is a pitiful little guy at best. The rope tree should be able to subdue it. Let's ask Wan Snake another day. As for Minato, there is no need for Qianyue to worry about it. As long as the chakra is enough and Bunta is approved, Minato can channel Bunta to fight for him at any time. Bunta will not make any messy conditions. By the way, why don't you sign a contract with Slug? Isn't that passed down from your Senju family's ancestors? This is very strange. Why didn't Tsunade let the rope tree sign a contract with the Slug? Even Sakura can sign a contract. but there's no reason why Nezuki can't, it's so ugly and slimy. Besides, I'm not a medical ninja. What do I do with my contract? The rope tree is disgusting with its strength, luckily the slug couldn't hear it, or it would have pissed it off. It is actually disliked for this reason: you are very strong, and if you say this in front of your sister, then Minato and I will obey you. Let's go back to the camp. We can't help you much. We can only inform you. The rest is up to Orochimaru. In the Konoha camp, in a hidden cave, Orochimaru was looking at the map. Suddenly, a small snake slipped down from his trouser leg, raised its head, and barked twice at Orochimaru. Jiraiya, who was sitting next to him and was drinking water, spat out a mouthful of water and complained, "Orochimaru, can't you put your snake away? It suddenly fell out of your crotch. It's scary." Orochimaru gave him a cold look and ignored him. Tsunade punched him speechlessly. "Shut up, you dirty guy. What does it mean to have a snake fall out of your crotch? It's a weird description and I can't stand you 10,000 snakes." After communicating with the little snake, Orochimaru left the cave, came to the open space outside, bit his finger and quickly formed a seal, psychic art. Bump. White smoke exploded, and Wan Shi's huge body appeared. However, Wan Shi's condition was not very good at this time. She looked scarred, and her scales were broken into pieces. Xiaobai's 9 tails are not just for decoration. When they are whipped with a whip, it hurts so much that all the snakes can't bear it and howl after being beaten. Is Wan Shi looking for Orochimaru for something? Should we increase the number of sacrifices again? As Orochimaru's teammates, Tsunade and Jiraiya knew how difficult the snakes were, Orochimaru didn't expect that Wan Shi would come to him for trouble, but he would be covered in injuries when he came out. "Orochimaru, I am recovering from my injuries and have no time to talk to you. My master asked me to convey to you that there is something strange happening in the Rain Ninja village. A large number of ninjas are gathering to surround Konoha's position, so that you can be fully prepared. That's it. From now on, when I follow the master, you should stop channeling me, and I won't pay attention to you." Pfft. After saying that, Wan Shi returned directly to Ryuchi Cave, leaving behind Orochimaru who looked a little dazed and Tsunade and Jiraiya who looked confused. They thought that Wan Shi was here to ask for sacrifices, but it turned out to be a good thing. Others ignored Orochimaru. They came this time to cut off the relationship. At the same time, they also informed him that there was something strange happening in the Rain Ninja village, so they should be prepared to deal with it. "The others are gone. If you don't want to talk to me, I won't talk to you. After saying that, you will pat your butt and walk away." Who asked Wan Shi to inform me? Who is the owner of 10,000 snakes? As Wan Shi's contract partner, Orochimaru knew very well what a bad temper Wan Shi had. It was impossible for him to treat his contract partner well, let alone call him master. Is this guy transgender? Are the injuries all over his body caused by fighting or other reasons? Various questions flashed through Orochimaru's mind. After thinking about it, the big snake channeled a small snake again and asked it to return to the Dilong cave to inquire about it. Wan Shi said something unclear and ran away. Yes, he needs to ask clearly first. "Orochimaru, your psychic beast has rebelled." Jiraiya gloated. "I have already said that the snakes in Ryuchi Cave are unreliable and not as reliable as the toads in Empty Mayaboku. The toads in Empty Mayaboku are food for snakes." Orochimaru looked at Jiraiya and replied, "Forehead." Jiraiya was stuck. Soon, Jiraiya came to his senses and shouted angrily, "Nonsense, the toads in Myamu Mountain also eat the snakes in Ryuchi Cave." Haha. Orochimaru smiled playfully, ignored Jiraiya, turned around and walked towards the cave. "You are not allowed to leave." Jiraiya was anxious. Tsunade stopped him in pain. "That's enough. Now is not the time to fool around. We must first confirm the authenticity of the intelligence and make arrangements as soon as possible. Do you want to be surrounded by enemies?" News came back from Longdi Cave soon. Wan Shin's answer was that it didn't know who its master was. Fortunately, the existence of the rope tree allowed Orochimaru to guess Qianyue's identity. The intelligence was true. There was something strange happening in the Rain Ninja village. A large number of ninjas gathered together. advancing towards Konoha's position and encircling them. It seemed that the Rain Ninja village wanted to start a decisive battle with Konoha, and Hanzo could not hold it back. Orochimaru's eyes flashed, and he knew that the Rain Ninja village would be in a hurry sooner or later. I didn't expect this day to come so quickly. Hanzo wants to start a decisive battle with Konoha. If he wins, he will find a way to continue to expand the results, and even enter the land of fire to plunder, and fight to support the war. If he loses, then he will have peace talks with Konoha. Hanzo believes that Konoha will refuse. At this time, both sides of Konoha are at war, and it is the time to get angry. As long as the Rain Ninja village is willing to negotiate, Konoha will never refuse, and will agree to negotiate even if it suffers a little loss. Konoha urgently needs to bring back the ninja army from the battlefield of Rain Country to face the Battle of Kawa Country. Compared to Rain Ninja Village, Sand Ninja Village is the highlight. Qianyue is the master of wand snakes. How did he tame wand snakes? Tsunade and Jiraiya were confused. Only Orochimaru smiled faintly. He had already guessed that Qianyue's psychic beast had taken action. Because of the injuries on Wanshi's body, Orochimaru was sure of this. Sure enough, it's not a cute pet, but a terrifying beast. Updating an old book, the update ends here. I have no choice but to post tomorrow's manuscript first. Please forgive me. Chapter 87. You are listening at NavelFull.audio. It was also a good thing that the Kyuubi was well sealed in Kushina's body, otherwise Orochimaru would have wondered whether Xiaobai had changed the color of the Kyuubi. It shouldn't be a problem for Xiaobai to take action in Qianyue's own strength to subdue Wanshi. Orochimaru didn't want to bother, purely because he didn't borrow the power of the snakes many times, every time a sacrifice is required, which is not easy to find. Besides, there are many big snakes in Longdi Cave that are as powerful as one snake, so there is no need to hang them on one snake. Wanshi ignored him, so he could recontract other snakes to work for him. Other snakes are much easier to serve than 10,000 snakes. Start preparing. The decisive battle is coming. Send a message to the camp and ask for support. There are not many troops in the position. If you want to win the Rain Ninja village, you need support. The most difficult thing about winning this war is how to defeat Hanzo. As long as Hanzo appears on the battlefield, he can almost become an army by himself. Wherever you go, people will die, and there is no distinction between friend and foe. Sancho fish is so poisonous that sometimes even a gas mask can't protect it from it. As long as Hanzo is blocked, Konoha has a great chance of winning. After looking at Jiraiya and Tsunade, Orochimaru sighed in his heart. It would be great if Tsukumo-senpai were here. Hatake Tsukumo's fighting style is just right to restrain Hanzo. He is faster than Hanzo and can draw his sword faster. As long as they are on guard against Hanzo's poison and the three of them work together, it is not impossible to defeat Hanzo. The strength of the three people in this period is far from reaching its peak. If they want to rely on their own strength to defeat Hanzo, it is still not enough. They must need some foreign aid. It's a pity that Hatake Tsukumo is on the battlefield in Kawa no Kuni, so it's impossible for him to go around in a big circle to Rain no Kuni to help. Without Hatake Tsukumo on the battlefield of Kawa no Kuni, the difficulty of holding on would be greatly increased. The Rain Ninja village is taking action, and so is Konoha. When Orochimaru asked for help from the camp, he helped Kianzuki and the others write down their achievements. Danzo immediately approved Orochimaru's request for help. A large number of ninjas left the camp and rushed to the front lines. At this moment, Danzo, as the commander-in-chief, was thinking about other issues. As for the decisive battle between the Rain Ninja village and Konoha, it was no longer his priority. Anyone who is not stupid can see that the Rain Ninja village cannot hold on any longer. Konoha doesn't even need to defeat the Rain Ninja village. As long as they hold them back and hold on to their position to remain undefeated, Konoha will definitely win. Once Hanzo chooses to talk, the war situation will lead to another outcome. Danzo didn't want the war to end in such a blur. He at least played an important role in it, so that he could reap enough benefits. For example, during negotiations, strive for more benefits for Konoha. Danzo-sama, Team Senzuki has returned. Well, let them in. After being notified by Gen's ninja, Danzo interrupted his random thoughts. Qianyue and the other two walked into the headquarters, and it was Minato, the diplomat, who took action again. Danzo-sama, when we arrived at the mission point, we found that the Sunan ninja village camp at the mission point had been moved. This mission failed. Shouldn't we be punished? It shouldn't be the case. We discovered the gathering of the ninja army in the Rain Ninja Village, which can be regarded as a great achievement. All Minato could think about was this, and he was afraid that Danzo would feel unhappy, so it would be uncomfortable to just write them down as a mission failure. Successful missions will result in contributions and military exploits, while part of the mission will be deducted if the mission fails. A surprise attack on the enemy supply camp resulted in the camp being moved. Even if the intelligence department takes the blame, the superiors really care about it. If you enter the door with your left foot first, it can be used as an excuse to undercut you. It's just that Minato thinks a little too much. Danzo would not care about such a thing. At this time, he didn't care about such trivial matters. What he cared about was how to improve his reputation and gain more credit. This is the most important. Not enough reputation, not enough merit, but still want to be Hokage. There are no doors. Danzo still had that expressionless face, glanced at the three of them lightly, and said, "The failure of this mission is a mistake by the intelligence department. It failed to grasp the latest information, which made your trip in vain. Failure of this mission will not be recorded. Besides, you have obtained the latest information about Ninja Village and have made great contributions to the village and camp. I will have these things noted down and commend you after you return to the village. Now is the time to employ people. Many people in the camp have gone to the frontline positions to provide support, so I need you to perform a mission." "Another mission? We do not need support at the front line." Minato and Naoki were surprised, and even Qianyue didn't quite understand why Danzo arranged this, in the camp at this time, not to mention the existence of Jounin level, even special Jounin and elite Chunin led teams to the frontline positions to support them, and they have to perform other tasks. Is this a disguised form of protection, or is it to ward them off? There was no reason for Danzo to go out of his way to protect them, and there was no way to get rid of them, because the impact of the three members of the team on the war is minimal, unless Qianyue throws Xiao Bai out and sets off Nine Tails fireworks for the enemy. But Danzo doesn't know his trump card yet. I thought we could follow the support troops to the frontline positions. Naoshu sighed, his tone was very regretful. He didn't want to carry out any messy tasks at this critical time. He wanted to go to the front lines and fight alongside Orochimaru and his sister Tsunade. Come on, you went to the front line. Does your sister want to fight or should she take care of you? Just obey the arrangements honestly. Angrily, he slapped Shingshu on the back so hard that he almost lost his breath. Qianyue walked towards the tent where the three of them were resting. The mission won't start until tomorrow, so the team can have a day off today. Ahem. You might as well slap me to death. Naoshu rolled his eyes several times, slashed Qianyue's back with his eyes, and raised his hand to make several neck-cutting gestures. Suddenly a little white head looked over, frightening Shingshu. He quickly put down his hand and smiled innocently at Xiao Bai. Idiot. Xiao Bai gave Shingshu an idiotic comment and turned away. It sensed that someone was radiating malice toward Qianyue, but when it turned around, it saw that it was the idiot Shingshu, fighting with his master's back. Ha 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 ha. Minato's stomach ached from laughing so much that he could barely straighten his back. Rope tree scars have simply healed and they have forgotten the pain. Before, I kept saying that I would never mess with Xiao Bai again, but it had only been a while now and I had forgotten about it. Isn't this the typical kind of provocation that Qianyue often talks about? In the new camp of Sand Ninja Village, the ANBU people put the latest collected intelligence scrolls on the table and said respectfully, Chiyo-sama, this is the latest intelligence collected by the Umbu. There are big moves in the Rain Ninja Village and Konoha, and both sides seem to have the intention of a decisive battle. Konoha. Mentioning these two words, Chiyo was like a cat whose tail was stepped on, and his fur suddenly exploded. Chapter 88. You are listening at NavelFull.audio. His face was gloomy and terrifying, his eyes were red, as if he had seen something that killed his father. The ANBU people were too scared to move, because news came from the battlefield of Kawakuni. Lord Chiyo's son and daughter-in-law led a team to sneak into the country of fire in order to cut off Konoha's supply route. Then he was active on the battlefield of Kawano country and was killed by Hitaki Tsukumo, known as the White Fang. This time, it almost cost Chiyo half his life. His son and daughter-in-law died in the land of fire. at the hands of Hatake Tsukumo, not even the body could be brought back. At this time, Chiyo was like an angry lioness, wishing to twitch and skin Hatake Tsukumo, eat his flesh and blood alive, and gnaw on his bones to calm the hatred in her heart. It's just that as the commander of the Rain Kingdom battlefield, Chiyo cannot leave the army and run back. She could only control her hatred and lead the ninjas from Sand Ninja Village to fight in the kingdom of Rain. I hate the house and the bird. Chiyo also hated Konoha because of Tsukumo Hatake's murder of his son and daughter-in-law. In addition, the task given to her by the third Kazekage is to hold back Konoha and muddy the waters of the Rain Country so that Konoha cannot escape from the Rain Country. There's a great opportunity right now. Hanzo can't hold on any longer. Chiyo quickly guessed why the Rain Ninja Village couldn't wait to fight Konoha. The Rain Ninja Village is going to have a decisive battle, and Konoha can only passively fight back. With the flames of hatred flashing in his eyes, Chiyo gritted his teeth and said, "Pass my order, and the army will gather together. After the fight between Konoha and the Rain Ninja Village, we will make a surprise attack on the Konoha camp." Didn't Konoha transfer most of its troops to frontline positions? Then I'll steal the house. Yes. The ANBU people left quickly to pass on Chiyo's order, and all the ninjas in Suna Ninja Village were ready. He only waited for the war between Konoha and the Rain Ninja Village to break out, then made a surprise attack on the Konoha camp. Chiyo's goal is to uproot Konoha's camp in the Rain Country, create as many casualties and chaos as possible in Konoha. The movements in the Rain Ninja Village and Konoha also cannot be hidden from the IWA Ninja Village. The information was immediately sent to Anoki. After reading the intelligence, Anoki hesitated for a while and decided to stay put. The damned Cloud Ninja Village, led by the third Raikage, is eyeing the border and may invade the land of Earth at any time. At this time, Anoki had no time to care about the fighting situation in Konoha and the Rain Ninja Village, although this is an opportunity to reap benefits, but before you can reap the benefits, you have to keep your home first. It would be funny if you don't get a few benefits at the front, but then your home is stolen by Yun Ninja Village. Yun Ninja Village and IWA Ninja Village have been in constant friction since the village was established. The two villages have been fighting back and forth, and the conflict is not small. This time, the IWA Ninja Village was involved in the battlefield of the Kingdom of Rain, and the third Raikage saw the opportunity to invade the Kingdom of Earth, so he was somewhat ready to take action. The behavior of Yun Ninja Village directly made Anoki afraid to act rashly. We can only let Konoha and the Rain Ninja Village fight to the death. The war between Konoha and Rain Ninja Village has completely turned into a great war among the ninja world, among the 5 major ninja villages, except for the Kiri Ninja Village, which was still closed to the outside world and had little contact with the outside world. The other 4 major ninja villages were involved in this war. The Sand Ninja Village wants to cut a piece of flesh from the Fire Nation. Konoha wants to warn the Rain Ninja Village to let Hanzo understand the status of himself and the Rain Ninja Village, and not to try to provoke the 5 major ninja villages. IWA Ninja Village wanted to take advantage of the situation, but before they could take advantage, they were treated as prey by Yun Ninja Village. The situation in the entire ninja world can be said to be in chaos. The chaos in the ninja world has nothing to do with Team Qianyue. The team rested in the camp for a day, replenished supplies, and left the camp. The 3 of them became bodyguards, wall-mounted bodyguards. As an ally of Konoha, the Grass Ninja Village was harassed by the ninjas of the IWA Ninja Village, so they sent an envoy to ask for help. Danzo couldn't sit idly by, so he sent Qianyue and the others out. Let their team escort the envoy to Kusanagi Village and be responsible for cleaning up the surrounding Iwagakure. Ninjas, you tell me, why do we, Konoha, need to help us with the matter in the Grass Ninja Village? Naoshu looked depressed. Minato looked at him speechlessly. Please keep your voice down. The ninjas from Kusanagi Village are walking in front of you. It's so embarrassing to be heard by others, because the Grass Ninja Village is our ally of Konoha. Qianyue smiled and said, Speaking of the earliest conflict in the war, it was caused by Kusanagi Village. It seems that the Kingdom of Rain is showing signs of launching a war against the Kingdom of Grass, so this war broke out with Konoha. Naoki heard Orochimaru and the others discuss this information. This gives people the impression that Konoha is inexplicably lying on its back. The second time, the Ninja World War will break out sooner or later. The only difference is sooner or later. The Grass Ninja Village is just a small excuse. Even if there is no grass ninja village, the war will still break out. Qianyue remembers that in the original book, the war between Konoha and the Amino Ninja village ended. The Amino Ninja village obtained Konoha's support through negotiations and dragged the Suna Ninja village away. In the end, Chiyo was defeated, leave the country of rain with the ninjas from San Ninja village, but Hanzo didn't know what was wrong, so he actually made a big circle and ran to attack the neutral country of Iron Country. The Kingdom of Rain is thousands of miles away from the Kingdom of Iron, either pass through a series of small country territories, or pass through the territory of the Fire Country. Qianyue still couldn't understand what Hanzo was thinking, actually going to attack a neutral country, and attack in such a big circle. Is it because neutral countries have no backers? How did such a magical operation come about? Qianyue couldn't understand it. If you want to attack, you should also attack those who are close to you. What are you doing in the country of Iron? Are the samurai from the Iron Kingdom easier to bully? Or is there too little ore in the Kingdom of Rain, and you need to go to the Kingdom of Iron to dig some? But the question is, how do you transport it back? This move is simply a mysterious operation. Without a few kilograms of venom in his head, he would never be able to do such a thing. The country of grass and the country of rain are neighboring countries. The team of 3 people and an envoy arrived at the grass ninja village in only half a day. What made Naoki and Minato angry was that as reinforcements, when they arrived, there was no one to greet them. It would be nice if you at least sent someone to say a few words of courtesy. Poverty. It was just the first direct impression Qianyue had of the grass ninja village. There are dilapidated houses everywhere, and people walking on the street all have strange expressions on their faces, which is obviously caused by long-term adverse effects. Although life is difficult for a small country sandwiched between big countries, it is incredible that Kusanagi village can survive to this point. After all, the land of the Kingdom of Grass is not like the Kingdom of Wind, which is all desert, nor is it like the Kingdom of Earth, which is all barren mountains, and it is not like the Kingdom of Rain, which has continuous heavy rain. As long as all the land is utilized, it will definitely become the second land of fields. However, the country of grass has an outrageous name and an outrageous ninja village. It is more difficult to get rich than to reach the sky. I feel like we're not welcome. Minato has been observing the village since he entered the village. However, the people in the village didn't seem to welcome their arrival, and this village is too poor. Naoshu couldn't help but complain. How can a village and a country become rich if a big name selfishly seeks wealth? The village leader swings around, and the country is obsessed with making money. Qianyue sat on a rock under the shade of a tree, crossed her legs casually, picked up a piece of grass and held it in her mouth. It would be better not to welcome us. Who wants to fight the ninjas of Iwa Ninja Village when they have nothing to do? What the Grass Ninja Village wants is just an attitude from the village, not a rescue team. Chapter 89. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Besides, others see us as 3 kids, easy to bully. If that's the case, what are you going to do with them? Minato, go hunting. Naoshu, you go collect firewood and start cooking. It's better to ignore her and just treat her like she's on a trip. Qianyue didn't even want to take another look at the grassroots in the Grass Ninja Village. You are the captain, you have the final say. Minato and Naoshu immediately split up. One went hunting and the other went to collect firewood. Since we are not welcome, then we will stay outside the village. Just think of it as a trip to the mountains and rivers. It just so happens that the environment and weather in the country of grass are good, unlike the country of rain, which is simply a place shrouded in devilish aura, with never-ending heavy rain. Konoha can't lose the war, there is nothing to worry about, and they don't need to worry about it, just eat and have fun. As for the ninjas in Iwa Ninja Village, eat and drink enough, go out for a walk, that's all you need to do. Anyway, the Iwa Ninja Village will not attack this poor, butt-grabbing little village of the Grass Ninja Village with nothing to do. With Danzo's assurance, the people in Kusanagi Village feel at ease. As for Teen Kianzuki, just ignore it, sir. Will this cause Konoha's dissatisfaction? Dissatisfied? Shirya Xing, the leader of Grass Ninja Village, said angrily, Konoha has promised to continue to maintain the safety of our Grass Ninja Village, but what they did is chilling. They only sent 3 brats here. What can 3 brats do? Travel around? Don't worry about them. With Konoha's guarantee, IWA Ninja Village will not do anything to us. Just let these three brats go wherever they like. Yes. The leader has spoken, and the people below can only follow it and choose to turn a blind eye. Whatever Qianyue and the other three want to do, they can follow them, as long as they don't cause trouble in Urin village. Once again, Qianyue and the others were underestimated. This is exactly what Qianyue wants. You think we are too weak and don't want to talk to us, that's great. It just so happens that I also see that the people in your village are unhappy. Everyone doesn't talk to each other, so you just do what you are supposed to do, and that's it for the apparent mission. As long as the ninjas from the IWA Ninja Village did not attack the Grass Ninja Village, the mission of Qianyue and the others would not be considered a failure. When the Grass Ninja Village is defeated, it means that the army of the IWA Ninja Village is coming. Does it matter whether the mission failed at that time? I didn't expect that the day before, we were lying in a tent in the land of rain, where it was raining heavily and the environment was harsh. However, a day later, we were sitting on the grass in the land of grass, eating barbecue and looking at the stars. I don't know which tendon is wrong, but Xingshu was feeling emotional while eating the barbecue. I have nothing to do all day long and talk a lot. Qianyue was too lazy to respond. She was eating barbecue and eating. Suddenly she looked back at the tall grass not far away. Come out by yourself, or do you want me to invite you out? Is there anyone? Xiaobai did not give any reminder, which meant that the other party was just an ordinary person and did not approach with any hostility. Is someone approaching? Minato and Naoki were slightly startled. Everyone was so focused on the stars and the barbecue that they didn't notice anyone approaching. You can't do this next time, you have to be vigilant at all times, and you can't just rely on Qianyue, otherwise, you will develop a habit of dependence, which may lead to big losses in the future. Minato and Naoki wiped the sweat from their heads and warned themselves secretly. The tall grass moved a few times, as if the people inside were frightened. After a while, a child who was about the same age as Nagato and the others came out. And the kid's hair color is the same as Nagato's. People from the Whirlpool clan. Qianyue suddenly recalled that there were indeed some people from the Whirlpool clan in the country of grass who had fled here. It's a pity that it was used as a mobile medical kit by the Grass Ninja Village and was destroyed. Even Xiang Phosphorus in the future will be covered in scars. Are you destined to be a member of the Uzumaki clan? I keep bumping into people from this family lately. She is still a little girl, and I don't know if it will be related to the future Xiang Phosphorus. Seeing the other person walking out in fear, he stood far away, not daring to get close, or even daring to raise his head, his thin body trembling. Xingshu said strangely, Why do I keep meeting people with red hair lately? Because most of the people with red hair are your relatives. Qianyue looked at him angrily. The meat in Minato's mouth spurted out and he was stunned, looked at the two of them. Relative? Does the rope tree have so many relatives? It seems like they are the only two siblings left in his family. However, if you include the Daming Prefecture, there are indeed quite a few, but there are very few people in the Daming Prefecture with red hair, and there are not many in Konoha. The more common one is Kushina. Could it be? Minato realized something. This child may be a member of the Whirlpool clan, but weren't the people of the Whirlpool clan exterminated? How come a child ran away from the country of grass? The country of grass is almost across the entire country of fire from the country of Whirlpool. How did she get here? You mean, Rope Tree also reacted. Qianyue looked solemn, nodded and said, After the Uzumaki clan was wiped out, except for Kushina who was brought back to Konoha, everyone else fled to various places in the ninja world to hide. Are you hungry? Come and have something to eat. Qianyue picked up the barbecue and shook it. The little girl in the whirlpool standing in the distance is very hungry, but she is afraid of being hurt. Her family members were all bitten to death and used as medical kits, so she hid in fear and was very hungry. When she came out to look for food, she smelled the aroma of barbecue and couldn't help but come closer. Qianyue discovered her. Qianyue held the barbecue, but the other party didn't dare to come forward, and the two were just in a stalemate. After a long time, perhaps feeling that Qianyue was not hostile, the little Uzumaki girl stepped forward cautiously, took the barbecue, and ate it with big mouthfuls. Ahem. Maybe I was eating in a hurry, maybe I didn't eat for a long time, and I choked. Qianyue handed over the kettle. the little Uzumaki girl quickly drank water and swallowed the meat in her mouth. When she raised her head, Qianyue also saw her dirty little face clearly. Noticing that she had raised her head, the little Uzumaki girl was so frightened that she quickly lowered her head and continued eating the barbecue. Naoki couldn't bear it and handed over his barbecue. Minato thought for a moment and glanced at the empty stick in his hand, feeling a little embarrassed. Eat slowly, there is not enough left here. My companion hunted a wild deer and there was a lot of meat. Kianzuki comforted the little Uzumaki girl and used an unused kunai to cut off new venison and continue roasting it. I dare not say anything else, but barbecue is enough. People will feel very tired after being hungry for too long and suddenly full. After eating the barbecue, the little girl Uzumaki sat softly on the ground, unable to move. Don't move. You haven't eaten for a long time. Your body has not recovered yet. Once you struggle, your body will have problems. Qianyue raised her hand and stopped her. Chapter 90. You are listening at NavelFull.audio. The little Uzumaki girl's body trembled slightly. She sat down obediently and stopped moving. He just kept his head down and didn't speak. You are from the Uzumaki clan, right? As soon as he said this, the little Uzumaki girl looked up at him in surprise. The dirty little face was full of shock and disbelief. She didn't expect that her identity would be guessed because of her hair. So, you want to bite me too? If you can, please be gentle. I'm afraid of pain. The image of her parents being bitten to death flashed in her mind, and her small body was shaking constantly, but he still slowly raised his hand, pulled up the sleeves of his clothes, and exposed his fair wrists with only a layer of skin left. At this moment, Qianyue felt like her heart had been hit hard with a hammer. Nawaki and Minato weren't much better. Minato lowered his head and clenched his fists. The rope tree couldn't stand this depressing atmosphere and shouted, Why don't you flee? To the land of fire, to Konoha? I have no idea. The little Uzumaki girl seemed frightened and answered timidly, because Konoha doesn't need people like them at all. All Konoha needs is the legacy of the Uzumaki clan and Kushina, who is most suitable to become a Jinchuriki. Qianyue grabbed Naoshu's clothes and shouted, So do you see clearly? The village you want to protect is controlled by a group of people. They refused to aid their allies, allowed the Uzumaki clan to be exterminated, and shamelessly took over the Uzumaki clan's legacy and made it Konoha's property. Minato looked up in shock. Jinchuriki, Kushina. He seemed to know some terrible secret. The Uzumaki clan was wiped out, and Konoha even helped fuel the flames from behind, because some people don't want other villages to get proper Jinchuriki. They hope that other villages have been troubled by tailed beasts, unlike Konoha, which has Jinchuriki that can suppress tailed beasts. The more Qianyue spoke, the more the Uzumaki girl's body trembled. So the people of the Uzumaki clan don't dare to flee to the land of fire, nor do they dare to flee to Konoha, because Konoha, as an ally, betrayed them and even stabbed them in the back. And all of these are good things done by the big people you respect. Are you awake now? Some things are not as bright as they appear on the surface. On the contrary, they are filled with all kinds of darkness and filth. Naoshu's face was pale and his lips moved, trying to say something but finding it difficult to say. In the end, he could only punch the ground a few times angrily, sit down obediently and stop talking. As for Minato, ever since he found out that Kushina was a Jinchuriki, his whole mind went blank, and he still hasn't come back to his senses until now, after taking care of the crazy rope tree. Qianyue said softly to the little girl in the whirlpool, What's your name, can you tell me? By the way, my name is Yagami Chizuki, and I come from Konoha, but I'm not a bad person. Are you willing to believe me? Uzumaki Nainaru, my name is Uzumaki Nainaru. You grilled me and didn't bite me or scold me. I'm willing to believe you. Infected by Qianyue's words and smile, Uzumaki Naiming gradually let down his guard, said his name, and expressed his willingness to believe Qianyue. What about your family? They were all dead. Many people bit them. Uzumaki Nainai's eyes were full of fear, as if he had seen that terrifying scene again that was unbearable. Okay, it's over. Qianyue patted Uzumaki Naiming on the head, diverted her attention, and pulled her out of the frightening memories. Then are you willing to leave with me? I will take you to Konoha. You can live well in Konoha, where no one will bite you or bully you. At this moment, Qianyue made a decision. He wanted to bring Uzumaki Naomi back to Konoha. As for how to solve the identity problem of Uzumaki Nainaru, it is very simple, just let Tsunade take action. I believe Kushina will also be very happy to have a clan member accompanying her, but after knowing what happened to Uzumaki Nainaru, will he hate the higher-ups? That Qianyue is unknown. Why does Tsunade hate Danzo? Koharu and Mito gate inflammation. In addition to a bunch of dirty things he did, it was mostly because of the Uzumaki clan. If it weren't for the third Hokage being her teacher, Tsunade might not even want to talk to the third Hokage, but, can I really do that? Uzumaki Naiming was a little uneasy. She didn't that I really want to go to Konoha, but she is willing to believe in Qianyue, believing that Qianyue will not lie to herself or hurt herself. Don't worry, there will be no problem. I promise. Qianyue made her own promise. I can guarantee that too. Shingshu gritted his teeth and raised his hand, and I. Minato also raised his hand. The rope tree promised Qianyue that there would be no surprises, but Minato, although this child is a little biased, he is still willing to believe in the third Hokage in his heart, but now it seems that the pure heart and innocence have been contaminated by the darkness of the third Hokage and others. Once you know something, it can change a person's life. This is not a joke, it is a fact. Minato's 3 views were undoubtedly refreshed again. Knowing the darkness of these things, Minato finally understood the character of the third Hokage, Danzo and others. He finally understood why Qianyue didn't like to have contact with the village's senior officials. It turned out that there was such darkness and filth in a place he couldn't see. Thank you, thank you. Qianyue and the 3 of them were willing to help him, and Uzumaki Nainai burst into tears with joy and choked with sobs. Late at night, Uzumaki Nainai put on clean clothes, took a shower, and fell asleep on the grass not far away. Qianyue and the other 3 were sitting by the fire, none of them feeling sleepy. The appearance of Uzumaki Nainai brought a bit of a big impact. Qianyue was okay. Now Shu and Minato needed some time to accept all this, digest it, and accept it. Qianyue, why does the village do this? Naoki still couldn't figure out why the village refused to save the Uzumaki clan. Aren't Konoha and the Uzumaki clan allies? Why do you want to die without saving anything? What is even more chilling than refusing to save someone is to add insult to injury. No wonder the living members of the Uzumaki clan are fleeing all over the world, and they are not willing to go to the land of fire or Konoha. Want to hear the children's version or the real-life version? Qianyue looked back at him. Rope Tree's breathing stagnated slightly. Is there such a thing as a children's version? What the hell is the children's version? Minato didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He thought Qianyue was going to play with the Rope Tree, so he quickly said, Qianyue, seriously, I also want to know the secret. I'm serious, I'm not kidding you. Qianyue said that she was innocent. What are you in a hurry for? Listen to me first. The children's version is because Konoha is afraid of sending troops to rescue the Uzumaki clan, which will cause a war, because there are many people targeting the Uzumaki clan, at least the 2 major ninja villages, Cloud Ninja Village and Kiri Ninja Village. It is unknown whether other villages are involved. Patting Minato and Naoki on the shoulders, Qianyue said, The reason why I say it is the children's version is because, even if you ask the third Hokage, Danzo, or the elders, they will talk about war concerns and tell you how difficult it is from Konoha's perspective. Not easy. Once a war breaks out, how many people will die and how many people will be involved in the war. As a result, they took the initiative to initiate the Rain Country War. Naoki clenched his fists with a gritted expression because he remembered that his grandmother Uzumaki Mito was very sad at that time. Tsunade also complained that the village was unwilling to send people to rescue because they were worried about causing a war. They were afraid of triggering a war when rescuing their allies, but then they turned around and started a war in the Land of Rain. This is so funny to me, let alone Rope Tree. Even a person with a good attitude like Minato who faces the sun would want to scold him. This is going to involve a real-life version. Do you still want to hear it? Qianyue smiled playfully and asked.